All right, we've had this meat in the ice chest aging for 10 days. I purposefully left the plug screwed on tight because if I leave it to drain, it's gonna completely kill my test here. My test is, can meat be waterlogged? So what I've done is I let it fill up as the ice melted. This is what the dry age people say is the biggest no-no. Do not let water sit on your meat. I did this on purpose. I am trying to prove a point. Now, I have no problem with people that dry age meat. I had a guy say, he said, I took in 400 deer on opening day of rifle season. There's no way I'm gonna be doing, well, no, you can't do it. It's completely impossible to use this method on a mass scale. I'm not trying to slap people that have to, and I'm not trying to tell you it's wrong to dry age. That's perfectly fine, but there's a lot of lies out there by these dry age purists that's just simply not true, and I'm gonna show you. This meat has been sitting basically underwater for at least a week. We had it in the ice chest 10 days, but the water started coming up. Now, I drained it off. I can't show you that footage because the water is very bloody. YouTube don't like blood in its videos, so anyway, you can imagine how much blood the water drained out. And when people see that, they think, oh no, the meat's waterlogged, it's ruined. Let's just see how waterlogged this meat is. First thing I'm gonna do is clean this. I'm gonna clean off this tissue and start separating these muscles. Okay, I've got all the membrane off the outside and I am ready to start separating these muscles. This muscle here is the easiest one to separate, so I usually start with it. Come right down through there. You can easily see where the separation occurs. And we're just gonna take it and lift it out of there. Now let's just use this muscle as an example of the meat. Is it waterlogged? It doesn't look waterlogged to me. Now I'm gonna trim it up right quick. Now, as you see, directly under that membrane is beautiful dark red meat. Does that look waterlogged to you? There's nothing waterlogged about that meat. I can squeeze it all day long and there's no water coming out. So there's our first indication that you can at least leave the entire quarter together and put it on ice, underwater even. It's not penetrating into the muscle fibers. The water didn't do it. So I know what the doubters are thinking. The doubters are thinking, if you actually cut into the meat like this and soak it in ice or water, it's going to get waterlogged because there is no protective tissue to stop the water from getting into the meat. So let's do a little test. I'm going to take a piece of this meat right now, and we're gonna soak it in water all day long today. Right now is about 8:30 in the morning. We will wait till as late as we can and still have daylight to shoot this video. And I'll tell you how many hours it's been in water, completely submerged in water, and we'll take it out and we will see how waterlogged it is. Okay, we're going to be using this primary muscle right here for this experiment. Now I'm just gonna cut it off. This is a really good muscle to use. This is the muscle that we use for our smoked deer ham. If you've seen that video where we put it in the smokehouse and we make the most awesome smoked deer ham in the world. But for this experiment, we're going to soak this in water. There's no protective tissue on it now. Matter of fact, I tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna cut this right down the middle to where the end grain of this meat is exposed, and the water can just penetrate and just soak in and fill up and waterlog this meat. We want this meat. What are you doing? He wants in the video. Just walk around here. We want this meat to be as waterlogged as we can get it to prove whether or not we can waterlog meat, right? So I'm gonna put this meat in there. We'll do both of them. We've got cold water. We're gonna just cover this meat with water. Now don't have a heart attack. Don't have a heart attack, you guys. I know some of you it's killing you to see this. Fill this bowl up with water. And we're gonna leave it all day long, underwater. If meat can be waterlogged, we should be successful. Let's do this. All right, folks, it has been 8 hours since we put the meat in the water. It's time to get it out and see what it looks like. Now, as you see, the coloration of this meat has lightened up a lot. And as you see the water, it has pulled some blood out of the meat, and the meat is very light in color. The question is the meat waterlogged? Can we squeeze water out of the meat? I'm not seeing it. Now here's the thing. We're gonna cut this meat and we're gonna see what it looks like. If it's waterlogged, it should show. Let's cut it. After 8 hours, the meat is still red. The meat is still red meat. Now you might be thinking that that's just because I cut way inside. What about this end? Okay, let's cut with the grain so you can see exactly when the water penetrated the meat and it waterlogged it. It should have come right in here. It should have come right in there. Look at that. The meat is red. It was soaking, completely soaking in water, submerged in this water 8 hours. No waterlog. If this does not prove to you that meat cannot waterlog, I don't know what else to say. I mean, this meat sat in water 8 hours, and look at it. Only the outside turned a grayer color, and it's a shame, but I've heard people say they threw the meat away when it got that color, and all it is on the outside. All you have to do is cut the meat to determine that the meat is fine. You can smell the meat, it's perfectly good. There's still everything that you want in deer meat is here. So, guys, I'm not here to say that it's wrong and bad to dry age venison, but I want you to look at this. Now, here's the other side. Cutting right down with the grain. It's time for you dry age people to stop spreading rumors that meat gets waterlogged when you wet age. It's just simply not true. It's not a fact at all. I'm not trying to say it's wrong to dry age. Matter of fact, somebody in the business of processing deer on a say a big scale, like several hundred a day, there's no feasible way that you can do this. I'm not talking to you. People that kill a deer or two and want to process it on their own, they don't have a big walk-in cooler that they can just access. They need some way to do this. People have also told me that they see no difference if they age it or not. They cook the deer the same day. That's also false. I have pulled my teeth out trying to eat a steak that was cooked medium rare now, not fully cooked, medium rare steak. Cook it side by side beside this that has been properly aged for 10 days, and it's daylight and dark. The difference between the tenderness is daylight and dark. Unbelievable. So, guys, this has been a fun little experiment. I'm gonna finish cutting it up and getting it ready to eat. You guys have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.